Regal day, everyone, and welcome to our discussion on visual imagery. So, before we begin, I want you to do something simple. Close your eyes for a moment. Now, imagine your bedroom. So, not just the general idea, ha? So, try to really see it. Nasaan yung bed? Anong kulay ng pader? May bintana ba? Nasaan? May kalat ba? So, be honest. Now, open your eyes. Here's my question. Did you see something? So most of you would say yes, but here's the interesting fact. There was no actual bedroom in front of you, and yet your brain created something that felt visual. And that is what we called the visual imagery. Now, bakit ito importante? Because in cognitive psychology, we are not just interested in behavior. We are interested in how the mind represents information. Hindi lang pala words ang ginagamit ng utak natin. Sometimes, our thoughts are images, spatial layouts, sensory experiences. Let me give you everyday example. Kapag nag-iisip ka ng susuotin mo bukas, so hindi mo naman siya binabasa, you imagine it. Kapag iniisip mo ang friend mo, hindi naman description ang lumalabas, image, right? Kapag nag-worry ka about the future, you imagine scenarios. So, imagery is not just about imagination. It's part of thinking, planning, remembering, and feeling. Now, here's a deeper question. Is imagery as the same as seeing? So, when you imagine something, is it like actual perception? Or is it something completely different? So this question has been debated for decades by psychologists. Some say imagery is like pictures in the mind. Others say no, it is just abstract knowledge, parang language lang. Now, let's go deeper into the core concept. What is mental imagery? So, the formal definition is mental imagery is a sensory like experience that occurs in the absence of actual sensory input. So, let's break down slowly. Sensory like experience, it feels like perception. Parang nakakakita ka, parang nakakarinig ka, parang may experience without sensory input, but in reality, wala kang nakikita, wala kang naririnig, wala kang hinahawakan. So, imagery is basically your brain creating an experience internally. So, let's do another quick exercise. So, imagine a lemon, its color, its texture. Now, imagine biting it. Some of you might even feel your mouth react. So parang merong asim na. So but that's the key point. There is no lemon. So what happened? Your brain simulated the experiences. The brain does not completely separate real perception, imagined perception. That's why imagery can feel real. Another real life example, watching horror movies. So kahit alam mong fiction, natatakot ka. Daydreaming, you imagine scenarios vividly. Anxiety, you imagine worst case outcomes. So although today we focus on visual imagery, there are others. Visual, seeing images, auditory, hearing sounds, motor, imagining movement. Kapag iniisip mo ang kanta, naririnig mo siya in your head. Why is it important? Because imagery is not just passive. It is a form of thinking. Sometimes, mas mabilis pa nga mag-isip using image than words. So if you visualize, you are using imagery. So key takeaway, imagery is the mind's way of simulating reality. And this simulation helps us plan, helps us remember, helps us feel. So from now on, whenever you imagine something, remember, you're not just imagining. You are engaging powerful cognitive system. So now that we understand what mental imagery is, let's answer a very important question. Bakit ito mahalaga? So because honestly, imagery is just imagination. Parang hindi siya ganun kaseryoso, right? But actually, imagery is one of the most powerful tools of the mind. First, imagery and creativity. So think about it. Architects, artists, designers, engineers, before they create something in the real world, they first create it in their mind. So, halimbawa, if you are designing your dream house, hindi ka naman agad gagawa ng blueprint. So, ini-imagine mo muna, like ilang kwarto, ano yung layout, or ano yung itsura. Or maybe, even in simple situations, anong susuotin ko bukas? So you don't list it in words, you visualize it. So imagery allows us to simulate possible sorry. So imagery allows us to simulate possibilities before acting. Second, imagery in problem solving. So let's say you are arranging your room. Do you A, write instructions, B, imagine what things will go? So this is your first attendance code, A or B. So most likely, you imagine. Dahil kasi nga, the spatial problems are easier to solve using imagery. Now, so imagery helps in spatial reasoning, planning, and mental simulation. Third, imagery and memory. Now, this is very important for students. Why is it easier to remember pictures than text? Because images are richer. So this connects to a theory called dual coding theory. It says information is better remembered when encoded in it says information is better remembered when encoded in verbal form and visual form. So, halimbawa, if I say dog, one code lang yon. If I show you a picture of a dog, two codes, image and word. So, mas matibay ang memory. Fourth, imagery and emotion. So, this is where it becomes powerful and sometimes dangerous. So, have you experienced this? You imagine something embarrassing, then you feel embarrassed again. Or you imagine something scary, then you feel fear. So even though it is not happening, imagery can trigger real emotions. Why? Because your brain responds to imagery almost like real perception. So from now on, don't think of imagery as just an imagination. It is a cognitive tool that shapes how you think, feel, and act. Now, let's move on to one of the earliest and most interesting debates in psychology, the imageless thought debate. At the center of this debate is a simple question. Can we think without images? Some psychologists argued, all thinking involves imagery. So, ibig sabihin, whenever you think of something, there is some form of mental image. Example, if I say tree, most of you will see a tree in your mind. Even if I say dog, hindi description ang unang lalabas. Image agad. So, the argument is, thinking is inherently visual. Other psychologists disagreed. They said, we can think without imagery. Example, think about justice, truth, equality. Can you clearly see justice? Not really, but you understand it. So this suggests thinking can be abstract, not always visual. So this debate is not just about imagery. It is about the nature of thought itself. Is thinking concrete or abstract? Well, today, psychologists agree. Both sides are correct because thinking is flexible. Now, thoughts are visual, imagery based, or spatial, maps and diagrams. Others are abstract, language based. So, the key idea here, your brain uses multiple formats to think. Example, when commuting, you might imagine the route, imagery, but also, traffic is heavy, propositional knowledge. Kaya nga, thinking is not limited to one form. And sometimes, you see your thoughts, other times, you know them. Hmm. Now, let's look at one of the most earliest scientific studies on imagery, conducted by Francis Galton. Galton asked participants a simple question. Imagine your breakfast table in this morning. Then he asked them to describe the brightness, the detail, the clarity. So what did he find? People varied a lot. Some participants said very clear, parang real. Others said vague, blurry, almost nothing. So key insight, not everyone experiences imagery the same way. Individual differences. This is very important. Some people have vivid imagery or clear detailed. Others have weak imagery, blurry or minimal. And some people have something called aphantasia. Aphantasia, people who cannot form mental images. So meaning, if you say, imagine a beach, they understand it, but they don't see it. So this affects learning style, memory strategies, creativity. Example, visual learners, they prefer diagrams, charts, images. Ang verbal learners, they prefer text and explanations. But we also have to clarify something. So being less visual does not mean less intelligent. It just means different cognitive style. So before we go deeper into visual imagery, kailangan muna nating balikan ang isang napaka-importanting historical shift sa psychology, the cognitive revolution. So ano nga ba ang nangyari before? So before the 1950s, psychology was dominated by behaviorism. So behaviorists like Watson, Skinner, they believe we should only study what we can observe. So meaning, behavior, stimuli, responses. But the thoughts, imagination, or mental images, so hindi sila pinapag-aralan. Considered unscientific. So think about this. Kung behaviorism pa rin ang dominant today, hindi natin pag-aaralan ang memory, thinking, perception, and imagination. So until now, sarado pa rin ang black box. Problem, humans are not just stimulus response machines. We imagine, we plan, we visualize, and we create. So this movement said we can study the mind scientifically. So the big shift from behavior or observable to cognition mental processes. So what changed? Scientists began studying memory, attention, perception, language, and imagery. So before, imagery was ignored. Now, it becomes a serious research topic. Researchers started asking, kapag nag imagine ka sa bahay, ano ang nangyayari sa utak mo? So the mind creates internal representations. So meaning, may mental pictures tayo. So even without saying, you can see it in your mind. So bakit ito importante? Because now we can study imagination scientifically, test mental processes, and measure thinking. When you remember your childhood home, are you recalling facts or images? So this is attendance code number 2, facts or images. So pili ka lang ng isa. Well, that question led to one of the biggest debates in psychology, which brings us to Koslin. Now, let's talk about one of the most influential researchers in imagery, Stephen Koslin. His big claim, mental imagery is like seeing with the mind. Depictive representation. So, ibig sabihin, mental images are like pictures. Halimbawa, imagine a dog. Do you see its shape, its color, or its size? If yes, then your brain is creating a picture-like representation. Sabi ni Coslin, imagery and perception, they use similar brain mechanisms. So, ibig sabihin nito, when you look at an object or imagine an object, same brain areas are activated. Evidence, brain imaging studies show visual cortex is active during imagery. Another key idea, spatial properties exist in imagery, meaning yung distance, size, and layout. Halimbawa, imagine a map of your school. So now imagine, walking from gate to classroom. So can you see the path? O that is mental simulation. Important kasi imagery is not just words, it is visual. When you imagine your friend, are you describing them or seeing them? So that is Koslin's argument. But not everyone agreed. So which brings us to his famous experiment, mental scanning experiment. So anong procedure? The participants were asked to memorize a map. Example, tree, hut, lake, and rock. Then they they close their eyes, imagine the map. They are asked, start at the tree, now scan to the lake. So researchers measured the reaction time. Anong resulta? The farther the distance, the longer the time. So ang interpretation dito is mental images behave like real space. Example, imagine your house. Now, from your door to your kitchen, and from your door to the bedroom. So, saan ang mas malayo? So, syempre, yung kwarto. Ano? So, the key insight, imagery follows spatial rules. Why is this important? Kasi it proves imagery is not random. Imagery is structured. And for the big conclusion, mental imagery has spatial organization, behaves like perception. When you plan routes, recall locations, or navigate places, you use mental scanning. So kapag nawawala ka, do you mentally walk through places in your head? So that is Goslin's theory in action. But wait, not all psychologists agree. Some say imagery is not picture-like. So we will now explore the next with Felichin's critic. Now we enter one of the most famous debates in cognitive psychology, the imagery debate. Kanina, we discussed Stephen Koslin who said imagery is like pictures in the mind. But now, we meet his main critic, Zenon Felichin. So his big idea, imagery is not picture-like. Instead, it is propositional. So what is propositional? It means knowledge is stored as abstract language like statements. So example, so instead of seeing a dog in your mind, your brain might encode dog is an animal, it has four legs, and it has fur. So for Felicin, imagery is not visual. It is symbolic and descriptive. So kapag iniisip mo ang bahay nyo, do you actually see it or know its features? Sabi ni Felicine, you are describing it mentally, not seeing it. Ang important distinction here, sabi ni Coslin, picture-like or depictive, Felicine, language-like or propositional. Now, why is this important? Because it changes how we understand thinking. Are we visual thinkers or are we symbolic thinkers? So when solving a math, do you imagine shapes or do you follow formulas? If you imagine a shapes, si Coslin yun. If you follow the formula, Felicien ito. Felician's argument, what feels like imagery, might just be interpreted knowledge. So when you imagine your classroom, are you actually seeing it or just knowing where things are? So this question is the heart of this debate. But Pelichin didn't stop there. He gave a powerful explanation called tacit knowledge. So let's explore that next. So what is tacit knowledge? Knowledge you have but are not consciously aware of. Example, you know farther distance takes longer to travel, but you don't always say it out loud. Now apply this to imagery. Coslin says longer mental distance equals longer time. But Felicien says, wait, maybe people already know that. Meaning, participants are not scanning images. They are just simulating based on knowledge. So example, if I ask which takes longer, walking to your gate or walking to the mall? So you don't need imagery. Alam mo na kung anong sagot sa tanong na to. So in experiments, participants might think mas malayo, mas matagal. So results may reflect knowledge, not imagery. So halimbawa, kapag iniisip mong malayo ang school, you automatically think traffic, time consuming. So but are you visualizing it or just using experience? Felician's claim, imagery experiments are influenced by expectations. So, reflection tayo ngayon. Kapag sumasagot ka sa examination, are you recalling images or are you recalling or applying what you already know? So, ang big takeaway natin dito, tacit knowledge suggests mental imagery might be an illusion of explanation. But of course, scientists didn't just accept this. They tested it. And that leads to a very clever experiment, the flash dot experiment. So bago tayo tuloy ang mag-end ng discussion, let's bring everything together and summarize what we've learned about imagery. So what is visual imagery? Today, we started with a simple but powerful idea. Visual imagery is seeing in the absence of a verbal stimulus. So ibig sabihin, kahit walang actual na nakikita ang mata natin, kaya nating makakita gamit ang isip. And we emphasize, imagery is not just imagination for fun. It is a cognitive tool for thinking, remembering, and solving problems. We also look at how imagery was viewed in the past. There was a time na hindi pinapaniwalaan ng imagery, but everything changed during the cognitive revolution. When psychologists realized we can study mental processes scientifically. And from there, imagery became a major topic in cognitive psychology. One of the most important parts of our discussion was the debate between two perspectives. Coslin's view, imagery is depictive, like pictures in the mind, meaning when you imagine, you are actually seeing something internally. Felician's view, imagery is propositional, like language or description. So meaning, you are not seeing images, you are just describing information in your mind. So the big question, do we think in pictures or in words? We also examine the experiments that try to answer the question. So mental scanning kay Coslin, the farther the imagined distance, the longer the response time. This suggests imagery has spatial properties. Tacit Knowledge by Feleshine. Maybe people are just using prior knowledge. Flash that experiment removed expectation and still found spatial effects. So, strong evidence that imagery is not just knowledge, it behaves like perception. We learned that imagery and perception are closely related. They share similar brain areas, similar processes, but they are not identical. So there are still differences. So after everything we discussed, most psychologists agree that imagery is closely related to perception. It shares some mechanisms, but is not exactly the same. A key takeaway message: the mind does not only think, it also sees.